I am going to share with you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, boys and girls. Can I hear your voices? Good morning. Good morning. Okay. I am going to share with you something that's very important. How many of you have a desire to go to college? And you do have a desire to go to college? Okay, to go to college someday. And what I am going to share with you is very important because when you go to college, you will not go to college and have to do research. You will be doing research. And it's very important that you pay attention to this. And I want you to keep the papers that I have given you because they are going to come in handy for you. I have 2 more classes before I graduate sometime this year. And the 2 classes that I have and the ones I've had in the past, I've had to do so much research. So much research. Now what I am going to share with you, because most of you like to go to one site and get your research, but it is not a reliable site. It's not reliable. So let's begin with what is a reliable source. You have this paper before you. It says that reliable means that consistently good in quality or performance, able to be trusted. Let's talk about some reliable sources. For instance, my mother is a reliable source because if she shares with me, I am going to come by your house and I am going to bake you a cake. My mother is a person that can be trusted because I know she will do that. When my son was in college, I would always tell my son, if he would call home and say that we're going on this trip and I need this amount of money or I don't have any food, I'm going to gather him a box of things and I am going to send him that box of goods, food, snacks, cookies, crackers, whatever. I am to him a trusted person. Reliable means I can trust you to do the right thing. That means that that source that we're going to use is going to be reliable. We need to find out the characteristics of what makes a person reliable or a source. So when you check the ending of a website, there are many websites that have ending like edu, gov, org. You have an email address. Forward ISD has given you an email address. Is that correct? Yes. What does it end in?
ORG.
ORG. That is a trusted website. We are a school system that is recognized by the state of Texas because we are responsible for giving you an education. So we are reliable. Never use Wikipedia. And we're going to talk about that further as we go on. Because if you use Wikipedia, do you know why? How many people know why you cannot use that page? Tell me, young man. Why
Because
can you not?
everyone can change all the ideas in Wikipedia.
Okay.
And they can make good ideas and bad ideas.
Bad and good. It says it can be edited or changed by anyone. Anyone can go in and change the information. This makes the site unreliable. We're looking for reliable sources. And that's what you need when you're doing research. You must always have reliable sources. So let's talk about reliable sources. I have a PowerPoint that I have prepared for you because we're going to go through this. We're going to work on some exercises together. Okay, I want you to share this with me. Let's look and see what reliable sources are. Okay, so let's begin here. What is a source? It tells us that we have 2 types of sources. We have a primary source and we have a secondary source. Now, primary source would be any one of these or more. Whatever else can fall under this category. If I have a newspaper, that would be a primary source. A photograph, that's a primary source. Because if your picture is in that particular photograph, you're actually in that photograph. Those pictures that are attached to the wall, those are people that are actual persons that are living or deceased. Because Mr. Weiner keeps all the history for the school. An interview. Now you can have a job interview, or when you look at television, do you ever see interviews that are taking place? Can you give me some examples of interviews that are taking place? What have you seen? Do you ever see interviews on sports? Okay, tell me what's going on when you see a sports interview. What's going on? They talk about sports. What else happens on a sports interview?
Maybe when the game, for example, finish, and they talk with the best in the game, and they say, what did you make do that? Why did you do that?
Okay, and so on. So we just witnessed the Super Bowl game. Who won the Super Bowl game?
Tom Brady. Patriots.
Okay, what is the name? New England what?
Patriots.
Okay, the Patriots. What is it that was so significant about Tom Brady?
He won 6 rings.
Okay,
No, he won 6 championships.
won 6 championships. Did someone interview him?
Yeah.
Okay, so after each game, do you see them have an interview? What about basketball? Do you ever see interviews go on after the basketball game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so who is being interviewed? Who's some of the top players now in basketball? Do you know?
Curry, Kevin Durant, James
Okay.
Harden,
Okay, Durant.
Harden,
Okay.
Antetokounmpo.
So you know all these guys right here. Do you guys know? You watch TV? I know you watch TV. Journals. Actually, what you're writing in these books back here, those are your journals. You're keeping account of something that you've learned for that particular day, a book that you have read, and Mr. Weiner has you keeping account of that. That's a primary source. That's a journal. Or if someone sends you a letter, a dear whomever letter, that letter comes from someone to you. That is a letter. Or a speech. Can you give me an example of a speech? When's the last time you heard a speech? Okay, in social studies. Who did that? Who was the person that was speaking? Was it Dr. King? No. Okay, who was doing the speaking? It was just something that your teacher, Ms. Smith?
No.
Okay, and she introduced you to someone who was giving a speech. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be a primary source. That means that it's actually happening firsthand. So whenever you see someone do a speech, that would be a first-hand account of a primary source. And then right here, these are secondary sources right here. When you come to the library, you go to the nonfiction section, and you go over here to where the biographies are. That would become what we call another type of source. Then you have textbooks. These are do they have textbooks now? Kids don't have textbooks anymore. Everything is online, pretty much. Okay, so that would be that. Or if you come into the library and you see an encyclopedia or anything that happens on the internet or magazines, okay? That would be another type of source. Now let's go to, this is what makes this information worthy. So here we are right here. Most education institutions use EDU. We're using ORG because Forward Independent School District is an organization. It's an organization, and we're going to go to that site because we need to know. We're all part of Forward Independent School District, but we're going to find out some characteristics that make Forward Independent School District website reliable. We need to know that. Now, I have an email address, and my email address ends in ORG, but I have worked for other institutions, and EDU, I've also used that. When I use the website for the college that I attend, I have to use EDU at University of North Texas. Okay, so here it is right here. Here's Wikipedia. Again, this is never considered a reliable website. Never. Never. Because as a young man said, anybody can add information to these pages. So when you go into that website and you look at it, someone go through the process and change some information. That information may be wrong or it may be right. you need to always stay on the side of right. So here, Wikipedia is what they call an online encyclopedia. Yes, it does have a lot of information, but I have gone to this website and I'll see information about somebody's family, someone that's famous, and I'll see that, okay, on this website it says he has 2 or 3 brothers. Over here on this website it says that he has only 1 brother. Somebody has gone in and made a change. So I don't really use Wikipedia because it doesn't give accurate information. It's not a reliable website. And most of you, when you come into the library, you'll tell me, oh, I'm doing research. Well, have you ever seen these magazines in the grocery store?
Yeah.
Okay, these magazines right here does not have a credible. Sometimes these things catch my attention, but I know it's not credible. It tells you attack law is always last. It'll say on here just like Angelina attacks Brad. Now this is another one that just came out. Angelina and Brad have not been together. The last thing I read is that Brad is with somebody else. Angelina is with somebody else. Or it'll say, Bill ordered to take paternity tests. Does anybody know who this person is? Okay, this used to be one of our former presidents of the United States. And they have him on this tabloid. So what I'm saying to you is, you have to be very careful when you start reading information. Okay, so now we're going to do a quick check. In a science class, you've been assigned an essay discussing the effects of acid rain on car paint. Which of the following would be the most relevant source? Should you look in a brochure? Do you know what a brochure is?
No.
A brochure is, it's something like a pamphlet. And it's, when you get ready to go to if you go down to the counselor's office and you're seeking some information about what's going on in high school, and usually this information may be folded into one little pamphlet. And pamphlet has information in it. And it says right here, we're trying to find out what's going on with rain, acid rain on car paint. And so you have this brochure advertising Ford's newest green models.
No.
Is that reliable?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay, why do I hear yes and no? I'm looking for something that has to do with acid rain on car paint. Do I need to look in this brochure about that? Do I?
No.
No, I don't. National Geographic article on changing weather patterns.
No.
Possible
Possible.
No.
Tell me why it's possible.
because you have something like that involves acid rain.
Okay, it draws acid rain because what word makes it possible?
Changing weather.
Changing weather. So let's put a little question mark by that. You know how you do it when you do the process of elimination when you're taking the
Yeah.
STAR test? Study conducted by BMW.
No.
No. What is BMW?
A brand.
It's a type of a car. Okay? Research article on automobile safety in hurricane, force, wind, and rain.
No.
Is that reliable?
No.
So which one can we use?
B.
Which one?
B.
B. We can use B. It's the same process you go through, because what we're looking for is what is reliable. We need to know what can we trust. What is a primary source? Remember, we're talking about a primary is something that actually took place. Can I see someone giving a speech? Can
Yes.
someone send you a letter?
Yes.
Okay. Can you write in your journal?
No.
Okay, that's primary. I can see you writing in your journal.
Oh yeah.
I can see that. So right here, which of these is a primary research source? Let me make sure I make this very clear to you. When you hit high school, you have to enter into these history and science fair contests. It's mandatory. You don't have a choice. Like you may have a choice in elementary or middle. It's mandatory in high school. So with it being mandatory, it says that it's going to ask you for a primary source and it's going to ask you for a secondary source. Now, when they ask you for a primary source, that has to go into your research paper. You're going to hear this once you hit high school. You may not hear it as much in middle school, but I do know, I know primary and secondary is part of somebody's content area. It's an objective that has to be taught to you. So it may be in your history classes. A poem written by the author of Harlem Renaissance.
No.
Listen to this. A history textbook chapter about New Orleans.
No.
Yes.
An autobiography of Louis Armstrong.
Maybe.
Maybe. An article in a newspaper about a
Maybe.
jazz performance.
Maybe.
Okay, now, we're looking for what's primary. So let's go back to, so you can get a clear understanding again, I want you to look at primary. What can be primary?
See.
So here we go again. Primary. A speech, firsthand. This actually took place. You saw this happen. Can you see someone give a speech?
Yes.
Can someone write you a letter?
Yes.
Can you write in your journal?
Yes.
Artifacts are things like, let's take this as a person is involved in a track meet. And that person wins that track meet. What is the artifact that will be given to that person?
A
And they
prize.
can keep for years and years.
The prize.
The prize. Normally it's a medallion, a medal. It can be a trophy, like these trophies here. It's something that someone gives you firsthand. And that firsthand artifacts or trophy or whatever that is, that's what this question mark stands for. Because there's so many other things that can be primary. So we have an interview. Can we see an interview take place?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see that on TV. Can we witness photographs?
Yes.
You guys take pictures with your phones all the time.
That's
Newspaper article. Can you pick up the newspaper and read the article? Most of those newspaper articles are written by someone who was a primary source. Okay? So we're talking about primary source. So let's flip back to looking again at what this particular question is asking you. Which of these is a primary research source? Would it be a poem written by the author, a history textbook chapter, an autobiography, an article in a newspaper? Which one can we take out? Which one?
A.
We can take out A,
Yeah. C.
and we can take out C. So what does it leave? B and D. Which one is the correct answer?
D.
D. D will be our correct answer. Great job, you guys. And see, this is what, you're going to encounter this. When you go to college, they're going to ask for, even your teachers, next year when you hit high school, you're going to be doing real research papers. So let's go to this right here. So let's look at Wikipedia again. Because a lot of kids come into the library and they'll say, oh, I'm going to Wikipedia. Well, it's not reliable. It is written collaboratively by largely anonymous internet volunteers who write without pay. Anonymous, what does that word mean? Have you ever heard of that word?
Nobody.
Yes, what does it mean?
something unknown.
Okay, unknown. Unknown. Anyone with internet access can write and make changes to Wikipedia articles. I want you to always remember that. Rarely ever did we use Wikipedia in research.
No.
We could not use it. We could not use it at the college level. So rarely ever, because most of the time we looked at articles, we had other things that made it reliable for us. So how can you tell the difference? Reliable and unreliable. So there we go again. We know that's unreliable. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a few websites. Reliable. There's one word I need you to understand, and that word is,
Trust.
what is that word I need you to understand?
Trust.
Trust. Is your mother reliable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And she's reliable because you can what?
Trust and trust.
You can trust her. Is there anybody else that's reliable?
Yes.
Yes.
Who else is reliable?
Our family.
Our family.
Our school.
Your what?
Our school.
Our schools. Your school can be reliable because you depend on them to give you an education. You need this. So it makes them reliable. Reliable because they have been written, and when we go to resources, because these people who give you your information, these are people who are experts in the field. Are you the expert or are your mother the expert?
My mother.
So why do you want to take advice from somebody your same age? Who should you take your advice from?
The older one.
Your mother, the older person. Somebody born the same time as you, 1 second behind you, is not reliable. They're only reliable if they're my age, your teacher's ages. That's what makes it reliable. Let's move on right quick. Okay, and on the other hand, the other word is unreliable. What does the word un mean? Not. They're not reliable. So Wikipedia comes up over and over again. It's not reliable because the authors may not have a thorough knowledge or full understanding of a topic. Now, who would be reliable? If you were sick and you went to the emergency room, would it be the doctor or the dentist? The doctor.
This what it means for.
Remember, anyone can post information on the internet, and we need to be critical readers in order to determine what to believe. Your STAR test, it enables you to become a critical reader. I know sometimes you read those articles and they are not easy to access.
This what it means for before knowledge. Yeah.
That means that. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I go to my doctor, and I don't know as much as my doctor knows. Why? Because of what? Because he went to medical school and he studied. I didn't go to medical school. So who would have more knowledge, me or my doctor? The doctor would. So when you're walking around here and you're telling your little homeboys or your homegirls, no, I'm not feeling good today, and your homegirl or your homeboy say, well, go home and take you some, drink you some Big Red soda.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Did he give you some thorough knowledge?
No.
He's just talking about something that he knew from somewhere. I don't know. Okay, and so we're going to pass up some of this because we're going to get right to the meat of what I want to share with you. Okay, information for this PowerPoint was provided by Wikipedia. Nope. I went to a writing source and I was able to pull some of this information because whenever I give you some information, I want it to be reliable. So let's move on to the sheets that you have on your desk because I want to share some other things with you. You should have this right here. Look and see if you have this. It should be maybe this color. You may not have all of them. Look. Okay. Let's go to this right here. It said, which source would probably have the most reliable information about penguins? So let's look at all of these sources here.
Which we don't have penguins. We have a Mammally flower.
Okay. We'll get to it on here.
Okay.
Which source would probably have the most reliable information about penguins? Would it be the article on the North Pole? The Magic Tree? This is a book. House Eva the Emperor Penguin? Watch the video and aggressive side the penguin, or interview a zookeeper who works with penguins. Go back and think about the primary sources. Which one would have the most reliable information
The last
about
one.
penguins?
The last one.
Which one is it?
The last one.
This one here?
Yeah.
You're so correct. Because primary source. If you work in a zoo, I don't work in a zoo. When I go to a zoo, I'm just visiting. But the person who works there
He's like a doctor for you.
is like a doctor of the zoo. He has more information. Now, if it's a person who's at the zoo and he works with the giraffes, and someone who works with the monkeys, and someone who works with the snakes, would they all be reliable?
No.
Would the person who worked with the snakes be reliable as
No.
a resource for the person
No.
who works with the monkeys?
No.
No. Everybody in that zoo specializes in some different type of habitat that they work with. Okay? So the source that would be most reliable would be the interview with the zookeeper who works with penguins. And that would be correct. Remember, an interview is a primary source. Let's go to this one here. A student is writing a report about a recent earthquake in China. Which source would give the student the most reliable facts? A map, a newspaper article, a website, or a book Which one can we eliminate?
The first one.
A map showing the earthquake hazard? We can take
Yeah.
this one out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, which other one can we take out?
Our website.
A website called Quake Prediction, we can take that out.
Yeah.
And what else can we take out?
Good.
A book titled Earthquakes. And which one would be the most
Yeah.
reliable? Newspaper. Because it's more than likely that reporter went to that person and interviewed somebody. It's just like a person is on the news and you see them doing an interview, a live interview about an earthquake. Would you and I be reliable?
No.
If we were involved, would we be reliable?
No.
We don't usually have earthquakes up this way. We have tornadoes. If somebody was in a hurricane, it could be somebody in this classroom that really lived in Louisiana or near the Houston area, the Galveston, Gulf Coast, and you experienced that. You would be a person that's reliable because you know what those winds sound like and you know what that was like. Let's go to this one. Marcus doing a report about what it was like to sail on the Mayflower. Which of these sources would be best to use? A map of the route, a nonfiction book, a website, or a video called Mouse on the Mayflower. Which one can we take out?
A video.
The website.
A video
Take the
website.
video out?
Yeah.
Okay, and what else? The website. Take the website out?
Yeah.
And which other one can we take out? We only have these two left. The report
Take
is
off the
about
map.
what
The
it was
map.
like to sail on the Mayflower. Remember the question mark?
Yeah, I think we need to take off the map and take the non-fiction book. No. The map. Take the non-fiction book off and take the map.
For me.
Okay, so which two? So
The
these
map
two?
is good.
Yeah.
So which one?
For me,
take
map.
the map, I think.
Okay, these two go out, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now you're struggling between these two. There's only one right answer. It's
The
kind of
map.
like that STAR test.
Yeah.
These two look similar,
Yeah.
but you have to go back to what the question is. The question says, it's doing a report about what it was like to sail on the Mayflower.
So we will take out the map.
Yeah, take off the map.
I think the map.
So with the map, would this come
No.
out?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. The
Wait.
map or the nonfiction book?
Non-fiction.
Is the nonfiction book a true book?
Yes.
Is it a reliable source?
Yes.
Okay, so we didn't see book in there, and we didn't see map. Remember the question mark that we had that was on the page?
Yeah.
It's so many primary sources. So he's doing this report about what it was like to sail.
Because,
A map of the route the Mayflower took to get to. Wait a minute.
but you don't see nothing in the water. And
You don't
if
see
you
nothing what?
in there, yeah, you
And
don't
this
see
is a nonfiction book. If you sailed on the Mayflower, which one is which would be the most
non-fiction.
reliable? The nonfiction
They
book.
said sell.
Okay, if you sailed on the Mayflower, that's your key point. You have to stay within the perimeter of what the question is asking you. Okay, great job, great job. Let's go to this last one, and then we're going to move on. Sally is doing a report on Christopher Columbus. Which source could not be used in the early 1900s to research the information for this report? What could not be used? Okay, a book called The Story of Christopher Columbus. Remember, could not be used in the early 1900s. That's the key word right there. Some things were not happening in the 1900s.
A photograph.
The video. Can we take the video out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Take the video out. Okay, and what else can we take out?
The photograph.
We taking this out, and what else?
The book.
A magazine article?
Yeah.
No.
Can we take this out?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because at that time, in the 1900s, you go back and look at it, could not be used in the early 1900s to research it. So this comes out. Is this important?
No.
Yes.
No.
Is the photograph important?
Information.
primary sources.
Information
Is
is
this a
better.
primary source? Could not be used in the early 1900s.
Because in
This is a primary source. Could we use this in the early 1900s?
no, because there were the
Yes.
Oh yeah, because it's not a picture take. Yeah, yeah. You
It's
can-
a primary source.
Okay, is this a primary
Yeah.
store?
Yeah.
Okay, we use this?
Yes.
We can use a photograph, right?
Yes.
Because that's all we had back then. We didn't have videos. This book right here, does this make does this book look,
No.
does it say it's a nonfiction?
No.
Some books can be written in nonfiction and fiction about an artist, about somebody here. In the 1900s, they probably were not using magazines. They were using maybe newspapers. So we can go with this photograph right here, that
Man.
which source could not be used. So we know we couldn't use this.
Yeah.
So that would be the one, right? Could we use the video?
No.
We couldn't use the video. Did they have videos back then?
No. Didn't have even I got a.
Okay, so make sure you stay within the key word.
Oh, not this.
Which of these is used by many kids today who was not available to your grandparents?
No
Computer.
Which one?
A computer.
Computer. Most of my mother, she's 78. My mother did not use a computer. Now your grandparents would be probably around 58 to 65. So even for my generation, we did not use computers. We just didn't use them the way you know them. Yeah, they had record players. That's what we use with record players.
Miss, but for me the radio is the best one.
The radio,
Yeah.
well, they had a way to keep up with information that went out.
Yeah, the radio is the best one.
It says was not, which of these is used by the kids today,
Television.
but was not available to your grandparents?
Oh,
Computer. Which one would it be? Computer. They had TVs back in the day, but I mean they didn't look like this. But we had TVs. We had the kinds with the rabbit ears that went up on the back of them. You know, because things advanced through science, okay? So let's go on to the next one. So let's look at, you guys, I want you to remember this. A, B, C, D. And we're going to talk about that. A, B, C, D. That's going to be the easiest way for you to remember something. A, B, C, D.
oh, ABCD.
So let's start with, how do I know if a website is reliable? So the first thing I'm going to look at is the author. I need you to go into your Chromebooks and go to the website of the Fort Worth Independent School District. Go to the website. If you don't have yours, please lean over and look at someone else's. I need you to go to the website of the Fort Worth Independent School District. The first thing I want to ask you is, can you trust the author? That's the first thing. There has to be an author. Every website has an author. Someone puts that website together. The Fort Worth Independent School District. Go to the very front page of the Fort Worth Independent School District. Do you have it? Go to the front page. It'll say kids. It's flipping. So you see it's going through those pages because it's information. National Signing Day is on there. You may see Pre-K Roundup is starting soon. So they're advertising that. Go to that front page. So the first thing we need to see is there is an author. Fort Worth Independent School District is the school district you attend. Then you go to ISD, and it should pop up. Okay, so go to the Fort Worth ISD homepage. Do you have it here? Okay, yep, you're on the right page. Okay, it's your page. That's who's responsible for helping you to get some of the reliable information about the school district. So everything on that website is reliable. It is trustworthy. It's a great source because it is the Fort Worth Independent School District. So first of all, can we trust the author? So scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and at the bottom of the page you're going to find the author. You're going to find out who's writing this information. Go all the way down to the bottom. And you see where it says copyright?
How do you call them?
You see the word copyright? You see that word? Point to it. Right there. Copyright. Who is it that's writing all this information? Who is it? Forward Independent School District. That is your author. That is your author right there. So let's go to... Now, if kids are writing that, we know it's trustworthy. It's not trustworthy. Bias. Bias means that sometimes people can give you information. Does this website give you all the information? Yeah. It does. It gives you credible information. It's information you can trust. It talks about every race that is apparent in the Forward Independent School District. It talks about Hispanics, African Americans, Anglos, the foreigners that we have. It talks about everything, that it covers everything. It's not leaving out anything. We have people who review this information before it hits the website. So it is a credible website, and it helps you to decide what you want to believe. So it's not keeping you from believing what you need to believe. It's giving you all of the facts of the information that you need. So let's go to C. Now we know that when we look at this website costs. It's not cheap, because somebody is looking at this website to make sure the words are correct and make sure we're not getting into the legal fights. And so this is a website. Can you trust this website?
Yes.
Can you trust this website?
Yes.
The pre-K roundup is coming soon. They have that on the website. Do you trust that?
Yes.
Yes, because we have pre-K kids in our schools, for most of you who have already gone through elementary school. And then the last one is D. So the last one is the domain. Forward ISD. Do we have an address?
Yes.
If you scroll all the way back at the top, do you see our address?
Yes.
We do have an address. So that's what it means by the domain. And then if you go all the way up, most of you that are with Forward ISD, which one of these domains do we use? Which one do we use?
RG.
We look at ORG. That's the one that we use.
So to understand, what is mean bias?
I'm sorry?
Bias. What is mean bias?
Bias is in other words, they're putting information on there, and that information is true. It helps you to decide what is true or not true.
Okay.
And it's not that they're being prejudiced. They're not catering to one race or another. They're creating a website that has information that is not intimidating or nor does not insult you. Because you don't want to read something that insults you or says something bad about one race or another. You're reading information, and they're keeping it open so you can create your own thoughts of what you believe when you read the website. Okay, so let's go back through the four. You have the author. You have the bias. You have the cost. And you also have domain. We have a domain. There is an author. We have the cost. We know this website costs.
Yeah,
we know that. And we also know that they put information out there that allows that website that belongs to Forward Independent School District not to insult one race or another. Okay, and the very last thing is you have this sheet of paper here. And if you want to go through that sheet of paper, it's going to help you to determine the information about our website. So do we have a site name? What is our site name? Forward Independent School District. Do we have a site address? The address would be the URL. Do we have an address? Yes. You can put the word Forward ISD in, and up pops its homepage. What is the domain that we're using? The domain for Forward ISD is what? ORG. We have an organization that's in charge of this. What is the organization that's in charge? Forward Independent School District. Determine the author or editor's authority. Are most of these topics related to the education? Is there research on this subject? Usually, most of the things that deal with Forward Independent School District is talking about education that's related. And sometimes they do have different viewpoints on there. And then if we evaluated the website's content, do we have knowledge that we can pull from our website?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it presented in a professional manner?
Yes.
Okay, and also, keep in mind the date. If this is February,
Yeah.
and it's talking about, you're going to see this stuff about the kid roundup, pre-K roundup, because they're beginning that season for it, getting ready for the next year's pre-K and kindergartners. So you're going to see that. But if I come in here in this website and I see something from Christmas, would that be current?
No.
Should I see something on this website in February talking about Christmas?
No.
No. That makes it untrustworthy.
Maybe Valentine's Day. Maybe
Okay?
Valentine's
A
Day.
little stuff about Valentine's. And then this right here, this just gives you some more references and information about the website. Are there any other questions? Guys, you've been a great audience. You've been a great audience for me. I sure appreciate it. And then, as it began, as we slowly got into it, most of you began to understand it. Can you tell me something that you might have learned today? Okay, I want to see different hands. You're a speaker. I know you talk out all the time. What did you learn today? Okay, primary sources. Okay, what did you learn? Okay, pages of trust. Okay, what did you learn?
Which site do we need to? Which site is reliable and which not?
Which is not, okay. What did you learn? Oh, she said she learned about Wikipedia. Learned about Wikipedia. What did you learn about Wikipedia? Okay, okay. You can learn that Wikipedia is not really the most trusted. And a lot of times I have kids that come into the library, oh, I'm going to use Wikipedia. What did you learn?
I learned that we have a lot of examples. We have a lot of primary examples and secondary examples.
Okay, primary and secondary. What did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn today? All right, you want me to come back to you? Yeah, she wants me to come back to her. What did you learn today? They're not shy. I know you're not, because I see you in the hallways when I'm doing duty, and you passing through the hallways. What did you learn, young man? Okay, not every website is trustworthy. What did you learn? Okay, great job. She said we cannot trust Wikipedia because people can go in and change it if they choose to. What did you learn? What did you learn? Huh? Okay, never use it. There are some pieces of it that you may look, but you can always do a compare and contrast. Okay, so our class period is about to end soon, I'm assuming. I don't ever keep up with the time. But I got to get back to library duties and I have some classes coming in shortly. But it's been great talking to you. You come by and see me. So now I have a different relationship with you guys. You've been great. Thank you so much.